Hello, Assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome to the show Coffee with CEO by CEO Club Pakistan. And today in Management House Lahore, we are having an amazing CEO from Karachi who is the authorized dealer of 12 computer brands, including Lenovo, in the company Texitech. So please welcome Sohail-ur-Rahman, CEO Texitech. How are you, Sohail?
Assalamualaikum. Ji, Alhamdulillah, Allah ka shukr hai. I'm fine.
So, as we were discussing before, so you are distributing 12 computer brands here in Pakistan. Why don't you name all of them?
Acha, okay. Zyada mashhoor naam to Lenovo hai.
Okay.
Sahi. And we've been distributing Lenovo since about 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, before that, we actually started out distributing a Japanese product, which is for tablets, very specialized tablets for designing.
Oh.
These are not conventional tablets.
Okay.
They're also called digitizers. They're used in textile design, communication design, advertising, etc. It's a Japanese company called Wacom. So that is when we started out. Wacom is the number one company in the world in this domain.
Oh, wow.
Since the last 30 years. It's a very specialized product, going especially into the segment of design. After that, we started working with a French company called Lassie. Then we also work with another French company called Sagem, Sagem Communications. Currently, we are also working with Fujitsu. Fujitsu is a Japanese giant. They own 52 different companies. Many people don't know about it, but for example, jo aapka general ka AC aata hai, if you look at it in the back, it's a Fujitsu General AC.
Oh.
And so Fujitsu is into semiconductors, is into electronics. It used to be very famous, Fujitsu Siemens ke naam se. They have a very large portfolio of PC products. So we do that. We are also into a different division of Fujitsu which does document scanners. And a third division of Fujitsu that does printers. Other than Fujitsu, we are also representing Alcatel, which is a French company again. And Alcatel started out sometime in 1880s.
Okay.
They were pioneers
in telephones
with Graham Bell when AT&T and us zamane mein when telephone was being invented. So Alcatel is a very old company. So we are into that also. We are authorized distributors for Alcatel for Pakistan. Other than that, and Wacom, we are also representing a Finnish company from Finland called M5, which is a software for document management solutions. So that is also one of the products that we are representing and working with. In addition to that, we are working for a storage company called Asus Store. It's a subsidiary of Asus Computers, but it produces, they offer NAS, or it's a very specialized storage product. Most consumers may not know it, but IT managers, it's a very corporate product. So other than that, then we are into some consumer products also. For example, there is Sonic Gear, which is a Singapore-based company, and they produce headphones and sound products. We are also doing another Singapore company called Alcatraz, which is into keyboards, wireless mice, etc. There's a third Singapore company again into accessories, but more in the gaming domain, called Armageddon. So these are about 11, 12 different companies that we...
it's more like the Texitech is a one-window solution for all computer accessories.
I would not say all, but quite a lot.
Quite a lot.
We go into more specialized products in specialized domains. We are not into the main volume, but we look at niche markets and then focus on those domains and work accordingly.
So it's very difficult to even get one multinational brand on board, or two on board, or three on board. You are having 12 on board. How this all became possible?
It started a long time ago. For example, our first partnership was with Wacom, which started almost about 24 years ago. We started Texitech in 1995, so it's been almost 28 years. So for 3 or 4 years, we were buying Wacom from all over the place for our customers. And we ultimately kept approaching. It took us 4 years of hard work and continuously trying to prove Wacom that we are capable of doing the job for them, which is representing them in Pakistan as their distributors. Ultimately, we got it, and we then started selling officially, buying from Wacom through the proper channel and selling it in Pakistan. So
and then how come the other brands came in?
It keeps it's just hard work. You keep trying. You keep going internationally. You keep meeting different
people,
different companies, different people, brands. They see your performance. They ask around. Once they check, yes, you are a performer, then it becomes easier.
Were there any failures as well?
There are always failures.
Oh,
there are always
so why don't you tell about the failure, so that will be a pusher for so many others who are watching, that failure is normal.
I think failure is, yes, every day you try and 70-80% you fail, but you have to keep at it. Was there any
failure that actually was very very hurtful to you?
Failures can be due to multiple reasons. For example, we were working with a French company called Sagem Communications.
Okay.
And they had the rights to sell Aquaphoto and Philips in the domain of fax and photocopiers. And Sagem stopped producing. So we were left with a lot of stock in the market, which was without warranty. So we had to clear that stock. So that was a big financial loss for us. Similarly, Lassie, which was at one time a very large company working very closely with Mac computer systems. Again, it was a storage product. They also were bought over by Seagate, which is another hard disk company. And again, we were left in the middle because the vendor or the principal had disappeared. So when we are working in Pakistan, we have to be sure that we work with a vendor or principal who is large enough to withstand global issues.
So you started doing these computer accessories with the top brands 25 to 28 years back, when this was not a very known market or not a very known business here in Pakistan. So what were the challenges then, and what are the challenges you are facing now?
I would like to start with a small story, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because some people ask why the name Texitech, because it is confusing. People think that we are a taxi or a cab service. So, but in fact, we spell our company Texitech with TEX, and we indicate towards textile solutions. We are originally from a textile background. So the reason why this company was formed was basically we had a need. We were a textile company. We had a rotary printing setup. I'm not sure if you're familiar with how textile printing is done.
We do. I do.
You do. So, screen printing.
Yes.
And there is a roller-based also printing technique. So we were into that. We were doing large volumes, and we were
very technical.
Yes. So we were doing that process, and we were focused on printing for the garments export, and in which the print run is generally very small. So the requirement for design was very high. So we had to have 4 or 5 designs every day going to the printing machine. For example, normal run at that time for a garments order was about 5 to 10,000 meters. Compare that for a bedsheet run, it is about 100 to 200,000 meters. That is at that time. So the design requirement is very high. And also, normally garments designs, you often have checks and you often have stripes, so you need a very high accuracy also. So we were facing a lot of problems with respect to the design side. So that is why we started looking around internationally. And
what's the best solution?
What is the best solution? If we can somehow do it digitally, or because at that time most of the designing was manual. And so we ended up with signing an agreement with a French company based out of Paris. That is maybe why we have a tilt towards French products, because I think the French found us as a performer, and we kept getting partnerships from that side. So the deal was that, okay, you can, because we went over there to buy our own computer system and designing system for our textile printing mill. But we ended up in a deal because we are a very small organization and were still at that time a small organization, and totally equity finance with no bank finance. So, and a CAD system or a software at that time was almost about $100,000 plus. And we were in a dilemma: how do we spend that kind of money? Because we don't have that those deep pockets to be able to do it. So we signed up a deal. Okay, we will buy your system, but you will refund this money if we can achieve your sales target. So we signed a partnership agreement, and we decided, okay, pay upfront for 2 CAD systems that you need for your own business. But if you can prove that you can sell this, okay, then we'll refund you this amount under a certain mechanism. and we ultimately were a success. Within 2 years, we became market leaders, and that is when actually Textech was born, with the objective of selling CAD systems in the textile industry.
That's the history, basically.
That is why we started out. We were selling hardware and software for textile design. That is why Vacom was a designing product. Yes.
So why you came and then adopted Texitech as your main business? How come a young guy, 28 years back, I can see how you decided that you will be not very active part in your textile business, and you will be doing the IT business.
Actually, we are four brothers altogether,
okay.
Alhamdulillah, and we are at that time, two of us were in the business. I did my graduation from IBA, and my elder brother also did the same. And we decided, my elder brother was running the textile side. I said, okay, to achieve the success in Texitech and to achieve that goal, somebody has to be on top to be able to make that venture a success. And as sales started to come in, and we realized that it's a different business model, and we can do software and hardware sales and related services, then we decided, okay, let's keep that business running as a separate entity and a separate objective, and venture into IT in a new domain, and also kind of diversify. So we're already in textiles for the last 50 years or so. Since 1965 we were there, and IT was a new venture in 1995 onwards. So it became a strategic.
So how was the journey? Are you happy with it? What's your feel?
It is very interesting, and yes, I'm happy with it. It is always hard. The result is not visible.
Yes.
But over time, if you keep persistent and you keep consistently after it, your results do come. The goals are achieved.
Where do you see Texitech 5 years down the
road? We have been growing, Alhamdulillah, quite well. During the COVID period, IT was
on boom.
Yes, on boom. So we have been finding our own successes in our own way, and we have to be ingenious and keep actively looking around how to. So I think we should be able to continue to grow. Right now, currently the challenge is because we are an IT company, an import-based company. So current challenges are with issues in LCs and opening contracts internationally, importing. That is our current challenge in this year. We are hoping that we are able to overcome this, and Alhamdulillah, to quite an extent, I am hoping that will happen. So by this year, our numbers should be up again. Inshallah. And so I do feel that almost 20-30% annual growth should be possible.
Inshallah. So you are dealing with the multinational brands, and then you're dealing with the distributors. So that means one extreme and then the other extreme.
Yes.
So how's it going? I mean, do you find the multinationals more professional? And how's your stance? What's your stance about the distributor in general?
It's a different market. It's a different mindset.
Okay.
You just have to understand your customer. So they have different needs. Once you understand the customer, whether it is a walk-in, whether it's a reseller or retailer, or whether it's enterprise or a very large organization, then it is not difficult. You just have to be empathetic. You have to be in their shoes. Once you understand their needs, then you can cater and create a solution for them.
But there is some negativity, not only about the IT distributors, but the distribution in Pakistan generally. Isn't it like that?
I'm not so sure. I think it's more of a hearsay also.
Okay.
And there are always issues in every industry. There are always issues in every industry.
The attitudes and the ethical issues.
That is, I think, part of society. I would not say just distributors. I think it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So we have to kind of live with it and find a way to be able to work without compromising on our values.
Okay. So Sohail-ur-Rahman is heading 2 companies, and so what is your idea of leadership?
I generally prefer to lead by example. I'm a very hands-on person. So I am in the office from 9 till almost 7:30.
Daily?
Daily. During normal days, even Ramzan, I get off. I try to not touch 6 o'clock. So I try to get off by 5:30 or 6 latest. You have to keep pushing. And you have to keep motivating your team. So it's always a team effort, but you have to push and show by example. That is how I work.
Do you think a leader is made or born?
I think it may be a mixture.
Oh.
You're partly born with some values, but I think more of it is made. Yes, I think it is the society and your parents and your school, how they nurture you, how they influence you, how they motivate you, and you learn your values, how to get results. A child is very smart. When he's born, he knows if he cries, his mother's going to run to him for milk. So from the very first day, he knows how to get things done. And so we learn like that. So we learn how to achieve our objectives. As long as we know what our goal is, and that is clear, then you're consistent, persistent, then you find your way.
So how Texitech coped up with the ban on imports, man?
We were lucky in the sense that we made a mistake. Yes, it's a interesting statement. What happened was that during 2021, when we were coming out of COVID, the delivery timeline of Lenovo was almost 7 to 8 months.
Okay.
And early in 2022, suddenly the timeline, the productions improved, and the timeline started to come down to almost 2 months. So we had ordered 7 months stock in advance. So when in June or July, when the ban came in, we had shipments almost coming in for almost 7 months onwards. So we had, I think, almost 50 different orders in process. In process when the ban came in. So even while LCs were blocked,
but your products,
we had already 50 LCs in line. So stock was coming. Even till last week, we cleared stock, which was I think arrived in customs in about June last year. So there were major penalties and damages, but we did get the stock.
Very lucky, man.
Yes.
But all were crying and you were like sitting with a like.
No, but the penalties were huge. 7 months of stock lying in customs. So,
so now you'll be telling me what are the 3 competencies you think a CEO must have?
Interesting question. For me, if you ask me if what I would in myself, I would say integrity. That is primary because it influences everyone around you and the way you do work, the organizations you work with. If you're not honest in your work, your principal and your partners and your employees, they then behave in a different manner. So integrity is primary. Hard work. There is no alternative to that. And persistence. Persistence, I would say, because as you were earlier talking about failures, there are going to be failures. And there will always be failures. Or as someone says, they're learning experiences. So until you had enough learning experiences, you cannot succeed. So
how Sohail-ur-Rahman wants to improve as a leader? What thing you think you need to improve in yourself as a leader?
I think I'm lazy. I need to even be more efficient. I'm not a very hardworking person. In school, I was a non-serious person.
Seriously?
I was never motivated to study. I was in the middle of the class. I've always had a good IQ, which is a genetic gift from my parents, but I was never really motivated to work for it. So maybe challenges in work have brought out the best in me. But I still think I'm still a bit slow and I need to work a bit more harder, be more efficient.
Thank you for being so true. I think this is something not very normal. But I think so, whatever you are saying, this is inside everyone. Not everyone could be 100% productive all the time. So this is something really, very normal. So now, short questions. So business means too much work. How do you balance personal and professional life?
I normally am not able to, so my wife suffers and family suffers a bit.
The family suffers, huh?
Yes.
How do you release your stress?
I watch movies and I eat.
Oh, now name 2 movies which you really love.
I love all movies, all good movies. I watch them with intense and I'm inside the movie. So
really so?
Yes.
No, now you have to recommend 2 movies to us. Or 2 seasons. Do you watch seasons?
I watch everything. I try to watch everything.
So Netflix, you're a Netflix boy.
Yes.
Okay, great.
So I'm still watching as if on Blacklist is good. Avatar was an excellent movie with respect to the graphics and the the idea. Avatar 1, 2 was maybe not.
Any movie you loved because of the storyline?
It'll be difficult to name. So many. Yeah.
Or might be sometimes it doesn't happen. Okay.
I would coming just say, for example, Tom Hanks' Angel and Demons. The author who is that Angel and Demons. Then there's Inferno. There are three. Tom Landon.
Did you ever watch any Pakistani movie?
I do.
I really want to ask this because everyone watches Bollywood and Hollywood, but
I try to avoid watching Bollywood. Okay. Yeah, I try to avoid, and my family also.
So, any Pakistani movie which you really loved watching?
Not as such.
How was Maula Jaat?
I've not seen it.
Oh wow, that's a crime now. You have to promote local cinema.
Oh, yes, I should. Right.
So okay, now your favorite food?
Again, all foods. I like local tikkas. I like nihari, halim. I like burgers. I like pastas. I like pizzas. Yes. It has to be made well. I like to practice in the kitchen myself, so I know how to find the right flavor. So it not necessarily has to be very spicy. It has to be fresh. It has to be
flavorful.
Yes, flavorful.
I forgot my next question. I was so much into your. Okay, now what is success to Sohail-ur-Rahman?
I would say happy employees. If my team is happy and we are growing, and I can help to make that cycle a success, I'm saying I'm a success.
What is happiness to Sohail-ur-Rahman?
To Sohail-ur-Rahman, just a day sleeping on Sunday. That is my best pastime.
Yes. What do you notice in a person when you meet for the first time? 2+ things you notice.
Just if they're a happy person or they are, but I'm not so watchful. I'm not so.
So you don't observe too much.
No.
So you don't observe any positive or any negative.
No. I'm mostly in my own thoughts at the back of my mind. So
you're busy with your own self.
Yes.
Okay. So do you read books?
Not as much as I would want to. I was a reader during school, but after that I didn't get time. Right now, very little
Any
time.
book you want to recommend others?
I like action, normally action stories or thrillers. So those Stephen King was one of my favorite authors at one time. But currently, no, I've not been reading too much, so difficult to recommend anything.
What is life to you?
Life is a journey towards the end. That is what we need to focus on. So Islam is what that is what the goal of life should be.
Now my last question is, what is your message of hope and optimism for youth or younger people? You have to look.
I'm an optimistic person because I think it's partly natural. I would tell the youth, don't give up hope. I have stopped seeing the news too much because too much negativity there. I don't read the newspaper too much with the exception of just seeing the major financial issues and the major items that are happening. But I would say to the youth that dream, and once you've dreamt, convert it into an objective and just go after it. And don't listen to people who are negative. Be optimistic and let Allah open the doors for you. Just work at it. That is all.
Thank you so much, Sohail. It was lovely having you here. And I really learned a lot from you, by the way. And number one is being yourself. You were so true to us. And I think so this Sohail-ur-Rahman lives in every entrepreneur's life who have to do a lot, but at the same time they want to stay back and they want to rest as well. Now, number two, you talked about hard work. Whatever the question is, but your end result was hard work is the key for everything. Now. And number three is your calmness. Now. Then you being busy with your own self rather than looking into others or rather than thinking of what else is happening around. Now.
That is true.
So thank you so much. It was lovely having you, and I wish Texitech a brilliant future ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.